Carpe Vitam. Seize life. I always liked that, the Latin phrase Carpe Diem, seize the day. And then I saw it as Carpe Noctem, seize the night. And Carpe Vitam, I think that suits me more. There's no better time than right now, because now is all you ever have. Where the attention goes, the energy flows. Focus is the key to today's discussion, I think. And mainly because I spent the last 2 or 3 days talking about meditation. And I think that yesterday I began to shift the focus towards gratitude, and today that message seems to really be ringing true for me. I was meditating earlier, and then I received a message from my oldest friend in Oklahoma here. And not oldest in age, just that when I moved here, I didn't really know anyone, and I didn't know how I was going to make friends at that point. I was in a pretty dark space, and I met up with this game group that was run by a guy who is now a teacher and writer, and I mean, he's just incredibly creative. And so he'd drawn together this group of really fascinating people for his game group. And one of the guys in the game group I became instant friends with. That would be Mr. Huckleberry himself. You should know that your message today really, really moved me, man. It really got me to thinking. He said that it's really interesting to look at who I am now, how my life is going, compared to who I was when we met. And that was back in 2007, so a decade ago. I believe it was August, the end of August in 2007. So a little over a decade, and he's right. You know, it sometimes takes someone holding up a mirror for us to really see things in a new perspective, to put a new light to them, if you will. The things that he really got me to thinking about is when I moved here, I was a couple of years into running away from my purpose in life. I, from an incredibly young age, have always been guided by very strong intuition. I would have dreams that would come true. I would know things before they happened. I saw a light in people, and that wasn't, just select people. It was everyone I interacted with when I was young. And then a series of things happened that more and more that side of my nature began to close off. And I think that happens for most people, especially in today's society. With the cultural programming we have, you almost can't escape some kind of trauma as puberty sets in. And I had the added benefit of my dad dying on Christmas Day when I was 12. So, if, normal teenage changes and societal pressures and school and bullies and manning up or, just taking it because at least he makes money or whatever that the ladies have to deal with. That all of that, if that's not traumatizing enough for you, have a loss of someone like that at an early age is never easy on a kid. And I don't know many people who've gone through that who didn't in some way blame themselves. And I think invariably that winds up being some kind of value judgment on yourself about how you're not good enough. And that's why they needed drugs, or you're not good enough and that's why they couldn't make it work with your mom or your dad, whichever way it works for you, or something like that. I don't think I'm alone in that feeling. I've heard that from too many people to believe that I'm alone in having felt that way. But I'm thankful for each one of those things that happened now. I can see now, looking back over the years, it's been, I was 12 then, I just turned 36 last week, so two-thirds of my life ago. But I can see now that each pain brought me new awareness of what I didn't like, and not only that, but awareness of the motivation I had within me to change myself, my situation, to become accountable for whatever happened in my life, at least insofar as where my responsibility really lies with that. And I think had it not been for those things and so many others throughout my life, I don't know that I would be who I am. I don't know that this series of events that have happened over the last year or so, I'd really say it really started to snowball back into I couldn't run away from my purpose back in, I guess that was September 2014. I was quite a bit heavier back then. In fact, I was 160 pounds heavier back then, but it's not something I talk about very often. It doesn't really bother me anymore, but it used to weigh on me heavily, which, go figure, that's 160 pounds. It would weigh on you if it were sitting on you. But, we were at the fair celebrating my wife's birthday, and it always happens during her birthday, and so that's kind of been her birthday tradition. And it's a really fun one. And what's neat about that is that as we were out there celebrating it, the fair was always my thing my dad took me to when I was young. So I'm seeing now that there was even a connection there in helping me to heal that. But bunny trailing off topic. Let me get back on topic of where I was going, which is I was pigging out on fried foods, and I ate like a fried Twinkie and a fried 5 pound gummy bear, and I'm not even gonna begin to tell you how much money I spent. That chocolate covered bacon, which I don't know if you've ever had that, but that one's honestly amazing. But I digress. I was a pig, and I was picking out, and honestly, I ate to cover up feelings of insecurity, feelings of being not good enough, and so that literal temporal pleasure in that moment was good enough to make me tune out what was weighing on my heart, at least until the incredible pain like a knife hit me the next morning. And I knew right then that everything changed for me, because anything I ate that had too much fat in it, or too much high fructose corn syrup, would cause this knife-like pain in my gut. And so I literally had to begin changing. My body made me. It was refusing to continue down that path. And I see now that that was who I really am, saying no more of this mask. No more of this I'm not good enough role. And from there, it's been the most amazing journey. And it got worse before it got better, mind you. My whole social structure had to get shaken up and torn down and rebuilt in the process. And not only that, but I have lost a great number of people that I truly loved during that time. But with each loss, with each pain, like I was saying at the beginning, our heart breaks a little bit, but then it heals. Much like when you decide to start working out and you put 10 pounds on the barbell because that's what you can handle, and you do your reps and your sets, and you feel it tearing up your muscles, but in a week it doesn't tear up your muscles anymore, and so you have to put another 10 pounds on. And that's kind of the way it is with life. We keep throwing on more weights because our hearts get stronger and stronger. So the best advice I could give anyone is don't close off. No longer than you have to. I get it, everybody needs a rest day. But after that, get up, get out there, and open your heart as hard as you can. And let it break, and cry, and feel. This culture, we have to stop hiding from how we feel. We have to stop avoiding the uncomfortable conversations in our days. That's where the real bliss is in life. Be here right now, where you're at, with who you're with. It's okay to sit in silence. And it's okay to open up. in real, open, honest communication. Both are going to be required. Don't be afraid to try them both out. Try it today. I love you. And as always, remember, have fun.